Hello everybody and welcome to what is my first FIFA 13 video, and it's about how to achieve Tiki Taka or one touch, two touch passing, whatever you want to call it. Now before I get kind of in depth, well it's not going to be a fully in-depth video, but it's just the basics of being able to produce that kind of football. So when I show you the formation and the custom tactics, or the work rate inside that formation, it's not going to be, or I'm pretty sure it's not going to be, what you have usually seen on YouTube, because when I have been looking at tutorials on YouTube and how to produce Tiki Taka football, the work rate's always very high. The chance creation is always quite high, in between 30-40. Build up play is about the same, between 20 and 30, maybe 30 and 40. The passing is about the same as well. But what I'm going to show you is none of those numbers and none of that high work rate, because when you look at Pep Guardiola's Barcelona from 2008 to 2012, I'm not sure how many years he was in charge there, 3 or 4 years. It wasn't always about making these crazy straight arrow runs, down the flank or in the middle. It was always about players finding those pockets of spaces in the final third, or in centre midfield, or even out in the wings, constantly. It wasn't 1-1-2, or give me the ball, I'll run all the way down, and then the ball gets lofted over the defence, and then you kind of hope for the best. It wasn't that kind of football what I seen. I know some of you will probably see it differently, but when I look at Tiki Taka or one touch, two touch passing, it's almost a lack of movement that creates it, because time and time again, when I have tried to achieve like the perfect goal or the perfect move, doesn't always end up in a goal, obviously. So what do? You try again. But when I have tried to achieve that, there's always one player that runs unnecessarily, and it can be quite infuriating, especially if you've been passing it around and you're nearly there, and then this player does that, makes a wrong run, and then the defender gets in front of him, he reads the situation, and then you've lost the ball. So yeah, I'm going to go into my squad, and these are the players I have. Now it's taken me, I think, what year am I in now in this game? 2024, the year 2024. So I'm not far from finishing Margin mode. And this team is nearly all these players in this squad, when I got them, nearly all these players, when I bought the players, they only had an overall rating of about 78, 79. That's just my way of getting that profit. So you buy them, with an overall of 70, 78, 79, which, depending on the age, usually costs around between 10 million, 20 million. maybe even higher sometimes, and then you turn them into, pretty much superstars where you get that overall, nearly all my midfield there are above 90, except for Babiloni, however you pronounce his name, which has an overall rating of 90. So so there's definitely a few things that you need before you can even achieve one touch, two touch passing, Tiki Taka, Barcelona football, whatever you want to call it. If you were to apply all these tactics now, what I do, or what you see, to your team, let's say it's a championship side, more than likely it's not going to be I can't say as good, but not as efficient. Players will tend not to be, won't free themselves up it. They'll tend not to be in that position, find those positions that you want to find. I have loads of videos. Not loads of videos. I have loads of little clips of pretty much an entire game I had against Hull City. I'm going to show you in a minute, and I end up winning that game 7-0 away from home. The difficulty is on legendary, and you'll see that as well. But through those videos, I will be stopping, winding them back a little bit, and just showing you how players not making those runs and retaining the triangle, which is the infamous tactic of being able to produce Tiki Taka. To me, it's about maintaining that triangle, because if a player goes off, makes a run, all of a sudden you're going back to find another pass, and and the same thing happens again, and you do end up losing the ball. So now I do have certain rules that apply to being able to produce this football, and one thing you'll notice is that my entire midfield is relatively small in height. Now, the reason why I have that rule is smaller players generally have higher agility. So, when you're passing in tight spaces, those players need to be able to get off that mark quickly to find more space again. So, and then you'll see that in the match, what I show you in a minute, or a little bit later on. So I'm going to go into attack position balance. So yes, start with Velasquez. You can see his agility rating is 96, which is more than enough to get him off the mark quick, to get into that little bit of space for him to make another pass, to beat a player to it. I'm looking for something else. Where is it? And another attribute that's very important is his short passing. That needs to be at least above 90. If it's not, then sometimes in the very, very tight spaces on the pitch, the pass just usually goes astray, or it's not just on target, and and then it just goes to the side of the player, and then your opposition's won the ball back. And I'm trying to find ball control is also very important as well, because one touch, two touch, you constantly need that ball control to be able to pass to a player right next door. And where is it? So let's go through again. Dribbling, finishing. Right, so it's like, okay, so it is attack position. Your attack position needs to be very high also. Again, it needs to be above 90, because like I've just said, these players won't find that space between the opposition. You know, that those pockets of space that these players can find. Usually, when that attack position is, say, below 90 or 85 or perhaps even 80, I found there's a little bit of, how can I put it? The player's apprehensive of trying to get in between their defence, not make a run, but just sit into a pocket of space between, you know, their centre backs or whatever. And also vision is very important as well. And it's the same throughout my midfield. So just going through those little rules a little bit. Don't have a midfield that is too tall. Don't have any player that is 6 foot. No player that is 6 foot. Have a player that is very good at short passes. Very good at short passes. Have a player that has very good agility. Have a player that has very good attack position. And what was the other one? Yeah, agility and acceleration. Yeah, they need to be high also, and that needs to be for your entire midfield. Relatively, it needs to be quite the same as well with your attack, because if you look at Spain, I think it was back when he won the World Cup, 2010, I think it was, and then he won 2 European Championships around the same time. They almost never had an attack. It was usually their midfield that would usually just sit under the surface of their attack, because their strikers pretty much acted as central attacking midfielders and wingers, or wide midfield players. So just remember those rules. You know, just have a player that's good, has good vision, good positioning, and that's the first step. Now, straight away, well, let me just get this formation up. So you'll need to go into your you need to go into formation. You can pretty much select any formation that you want to edit, but start with a 3-5-2 because it's the closest thing you can get to this formation that I've got. But the players have been moved into the position I want them to be moved in. So you edit that. Now you can see it's pretty much a double diamond. So that diamond, and then you have that diamond. So that pretty much allows me to have triangles that are almost constant, pretty much almost constant. And you can also make a shape with the back three as well. You could say it is a little bit attacking, but that's when it's too attacking, but that's when the work rate comes in. And then when I show you the work rate of the players, it's going to look bizarre. Okay, so let's go down to work rate, and that's the work rate. Every one of them players have a high defensive work rate. All of them have a low attacking work rate. Now the reason why that is, and here is the next bizarre bit. Here's the next bizarre bit. Custom tactics. Everything is pretty much 1. Build up play, speed 1, passing 1, chance creation, both of them are 1. Might get away with getting the crosses up a little bit, but I don't do that. Everything is one. But here's the thing, when I first tried to get this to work and I put everything to one, I was still finding players making unnecessary runs into the box. And then the pass option was gone because my intended pass, the player that I intended to pass to moved at the wrong time, completely unnecessary, and I lost the ball. And that happened way more than once, way more than 10 times. It happens nearly, not all the time, but more than say 3 times a game. So to me, doing Tiki Taka or whatever you want to call it, it's about maintaining that triangle structure throughout your attack and throughout the movement to get the best passing possible, especially in tight spaces. So what that does is that a low attacking work rate pretty much halts, not completely, they still do it, but it's based off, to me, in my opinion, I think players' runs are a lot more intelligent now. They're not constant, they're not unnecessary. And the only way to do that is put the attacking work rate on 1. That way, there's no unnecessary runs. Players can keep the triangle without, you don't have to worry about any player moving. And, it's just the team is more in sync. The only thing you need to have on high is defensive. So that when they lose the ball, they will make more of an effort to get the ball back. And I think we're ready to go to the actual game. Let's go some time. Okay, so 2 seconds, and I'll see you in the game. Right, so this was, like I said, against Hull. So this was from kickoff. So already with the pass being 1, look, just look how close the players are to each other. That's what you need, and it's those little movements. See, already they formed a triangle there. 1, 2, 3. Now I do give the doesn't really set the tone for the game. I do give it away early here, but then I do win the ball back. Also, this type of play does require a lot of patience. It's not something you can go all out with. And here is this was kind of a, if you remember the 3rd man release from the old FIFAs, it was a quick tactic. So again, the triangle here almost folds inside out. It's almost like an elastic. So if you look at that there, there's a rough triangle there, but this is the triangle here that you need to keep an eye on, because it kind of turns inside out. And this is Jimena, who scored, I think, tons of goals for me in this current season. So there he is making a run there, and then that's the triangle, but the triangle switches that way in the end, goes that way. Bam, bam, and then he's in straight away. And then it's just a simple chip over the keeper. 69 goals he scored. We just witnessed that, we don't want to see it again. And this was the 2nd goal. So I'll just win it back. Again, you've got triangles going on there, and that same player is also sharing another triangle here. But the thing is, with the passing at one as well, there's always someone for you to pass to, always. Do you see how there's still players making runs even on a low attacking work rate? To me, that's using the player intelligence better, because with an attacking work rate, you become a lot more predictable. And this is also the same for chance creation in custom tactics. If you start to go above, say, 30, you think, yeah, your players are making runs, yeah, that's more chances. It's actually a little bit counterproductive, because you become predictable. You want to do the opposite. You want a lack of movement, and then bam, when a player does this, I still could have passed him there, but because I was facing the wrong way, and look how we come back as well. Now that's another thing, because my attacking work rate was on low. I'm pretty confident that caused him to halt his run. If that was on high there, he more than likely would have carried on that run. But he didn't. He come back, and if I was facing in that direction, I could have passed the ball there. He could have helped me again to reignite the attack, if you like. So I think I lose the ball here now, do I? Maybe? No. But again, another triangle there, options there. Don't use it. Again, triangle. So you're very close passing. Just waiting for the space between these to open up. So you're just waiting for that space. Bam, there, that's the space. So let's go back again, see it again. I do apologise, guys, if my commentator is boring you. It is the first time I've done this, so again, there, you can just see it there, the space there. One touch, bam, straight in there. Again, perhaps could have used maybe could have gone in there. Perhaps I could have got put the ball through there, but I didn't. I was just playing it safe at this point. Again, another thing as well is pulling players out of position. Now this is something that Xavi and Iniesta had done. I thought they were masters at that. It wasn't just their vision and the one touch, two touch communication they had with other players. They were masters at pulling defenders out of their positions, and they've done it nearly time and time again. And there you go, look, just the defenders just following me out. And that was a bad pass, but you have to win the ball back. Just waiting for that opportunity, just pulling them left and right. And again, look, there's a triangle again. So you have a triangle there, 1, 2, 3. You have a triangle there, an upside down triangle, and you have another triangle there. There's 3 triangles there. But can you see how the structure of the triangle remains intact? The triangle isn't really getting stretched. It's not really. I mean, if it's moving the triangle, if you custom tactics, to too high, chance creation's too high, one of these players or two of them players will make an unnecessary run, and then you lose the ability to pass the ball efficiently. Okay, I lost the ball there. Perhaps I should have gone back to the player that was in front. This was a free kick that goes nowhere, so I can just zoom that ahead. Zoom it ahead a little bit. And you just start again. That's it. You go, there's a space, there it is. Player makes a run. But look at the movement. This is with custom tactics. Chance creation's on 1. Chance creation is on 1. Work rate is on 1, and yet they can still make those runs. It kind of forces the player to use their statistic more than the tactic that you put out for them to use, which makes them a lot more efficient. But there's the run there. Cuts inside. Slots. Easy. Well, it's not easy, but it looks easy. Right, so I think this was the 4th goal. Again, just triangles everywhere. Also, I've noticed when you pass the ball 1 touch, 2 touch, it really does confuse their defence, and this is how these spaces form, because you just don't know what to do. Now then, that is very important, what you see there. Now this is something that again Iniesta, Xavi, and even Messi, in fact many of the Barcelona players from that era done time and time again. See, rather than go forward and that pass and make a run that way, which was never going to materialise into anything, because that player there, Olafemi, whatever his name is, would have had the momentum to beat me to the ball. So if you just go back, I've gone past it. I think I have, haven't I? Here it is. See that pass there. Look at the way. Who is it that has the ball? Sanchez. So Sanchez and Jimena. So when Sanchez passes the ball to Jimena, look at the way Sanchez moves back into space, because he knows that this pocket is, there's a lot higher chance of him succeeding in this pocket than making that run forward and Jimena slotting the ball through there and maybe even squaring it across the box. So he goes back into that pocket of space, and I can put that ball back into him, which I do. And the move's still on. You're still under pressure. If it was the opposite and he went forward and I put that ball into him, chances are I would have lost the ball. You go. He makes it an even. For him, he held off his run. Let me just check if it's the same player. Let's go back. In fact, yeah. Let's track the player. Okay, this is Sanchez here, where the mouse is. He held off that run to go that way, and he makes the most intelligent run to create the goal. So he's still moving with the player. There he goes. Squares it. Jimena in the back of net. So is this the fourth goal? Yeah, no, this is the fifth goal. Yeah, I forgot to say that I missed the fourth goal. I don't know what happened to that little recording, so sorry about that. Again, just little short passes around the midfield, one touch, two touch. So go back again there, even there. So he makes a run there. I could have done a three ball there. But look at the way he halts his run. He doesn't keep going. Now I've had players in the past when I wasn't really into this custom formation thing and their work rate. That players would keep going and be offside and not come back and help out. You just go on these never-ending runs, and in the end it becomes so annoying. So just keep the ball, look for a better opportunity. Again, just triangles all over the pitch. And that's goal number 6. No, number 5, sorry. It's kind of a weird goal how the players just stop, but that's the way FIFA is sometimes. And by the way, not every game is this easy. As you know, some matches that you're playing can be really, really tough. Also, what benefits? There's another benefit that comes from this is players don't really get fatigued that much, and the higher work rate they have. Again, you could just see 2 triangles in one there, really. In fact, I see 3, or maybe even 4, or 5 even. There's a triangle here. That's the first one. There's a triangle here between these 2. That's the second one. There's a triangle here. That's the third one. This is the fourth one. And maybe these 3 here as well. Maybe. But see, this is the pockets of space I'm talking about in between their players. That allows this close passing. Again, just staying in that pocket of space. He's not going anywhere. And again, this is the work rate is key. See how he just moves a little bit, stays in between the midfielder and the defender. He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't go off on his own little run. See, he makes that pass possible. All of them, again, look, just finding little pockets of space. Look, he doesn't go off on his run, just stays in that pocket there. Look, comes back. Look, another one trying to get a pocket of space. There's another one, a pocket of space. Pocket of space. All just players trying to find a pocket of space. And who said that? You know, no work rate equals no runs. Even the custom tactics on 1. And yet, look at a player there making that run. That creates the 6th goal. When he squares it across the box. And that's goal number 6. And is this goal number? This is the 7th goal. You know, there's always a purpose to going back as well. It's not like you're going back and side to side without no ideas. I mean, if you're going side to side and going back and forwards with the intent to to create space, then that's okay. It's only when you've got a lack of ideas that you go nowhere with the ball. So again, there's a triangle there. That was a bad ball, but you win the ball back and you do it again until it works. Again, look, players just in these little pockets of spaces. Look, players in pockets of space there. He's not making a run that way. He's just staying put. He's just allowing himself. He's just freeing himself up to receive the ball. Again, so as soon as he lays that ball off, he's in a pocket of space. That allows me a first time ball back into him there. And that creates goal number 7. And that would be the final score. So let's skip ahead a little bit now. This is just a full-time video to show that I was on Legendary. Just wearing the clock down now. And more often than not, the chance creation comes in there as well. That does help to stop these players from making unnecessary runs. It's almost as if that the higher you go with your chance creation, the less intelligent the player becomes. That's the way I feel. Because the lower that is, the more intelligent the player becomes when making a run. It's not unnecessary. So I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit here, just avoid these menus. So from here I go straight into the settings just to show that it was Legendary. And as you can see there, I played 10 minutes and I played the game speed on slow. I've never been the one for faster game speed. I've played FIFA with mates many times, and there's just this. When you just play a game where you're exchanging possession constantly, I think that's the most infuriating thing for me. I just can't stand that type of play. And people don't have a problem with that type of play. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, with their opinion. I mean, if they like it, that's good for them. But I enjoy this kind of football, the 1-touch, 2-touch passing, and it's not your typical. I'm pretty sure it's not what you've seen. Not your typical tutorial on YouTube where you've seen players with high work rates and your custom tactics being, certainly not being one. So, hope you guys try it and I hope it works. But like I said, if you haven't got players that don't have good positioning, don't have good short passing, don't have good agility, don't have good vision, then those triangles will have a lot less chance of, or they won't form properly, especially in a position sense, because players won't find those positions in that you've seen it time and time again in those videos, that match, where players were finding positions in between defenders, in between midfielders, getting into those little pockets of space. So yeah, I hope this video or tutorial works. And yeah, I don't know if I'll do more of these in the future. I might just do a combination of Tiki Taka, just randomly, I don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Thanks for watching.